Okay, this video is about multi-step equations, particularly with fractions. I want to show you how to get rid of fraction form when we have a two-step equation. So what we need to realize is that if I have a regular two-step equation, anything like that, it actually has, we can put it into fraction form. We can put them all over 1. So once we get the same denominator, we can just disregard because they're all cut up into the same size of piece, and then we can just work with the top, just like we see normally. The hardest part is to get that common denominator. So if ever you have a whole number, remember we can make any number into a fraction by putting it over 1. Now my denominators are 1, 3, and 6. If I can't remember how to find my least common multiple, the easiest way to do it is by taking your biggest number. In this case, my biggest number is 6, and I start doing multiples of 6. 6, 12, 18, 24. If I need more, I can put more up there later. And what you want to do is you want to try and make the other two go into it. 6 is divisible by 1, and it is divisible by 3. So the minute that I find the number that they are divisible by, that is going to be my least common multiple, and I don't need to worry about any of the other ones. So all of my denominators will become 6. I get 1 to become 6 by timesing it by 6. If I do it to the bottom of a fraction, I have to do it to the top of a fraction. That way, I am not changing the value, I am just manipulating the look of it. So now, 3 to become 6, I times it by 2, so I need to do it to the top as well. 4 times 6 is 24. I'm gonna have that bottom. Plus 2 times 2 is 4. Over the bottom 6, we have our variable with that one, is equal to, now this one stays. So I have 24/6 plus 4/6, x is equal to 5/6. Now, because I have that denominator all the same, I can actually just disregard. So I could like sit and erase it. I'm just gonna write it right over here. 24 plus 4x is equal to 5. And that's a two-step equation. I should be able to subtract 24, realize right here, you can't squeeze it in between your equal to sign and your 5. It just needs to go after what's already there. So it's 5 minus 24 is gonna be a negative, because we have more negatives, 19. It is equal to 4x. Now, I divide by 4 because it's currently timesing. So over here, I will divide by 4. I will get x is equal to a negative 19/4. Totally okay that it's in fraction form. That is as simple as it can go because 19 is a prime number, okay? I'm gonna show you one more of these and then I will go and we can distribute some fractions through. So if I have 7/9 x plus 2 is equal to 5/6. Now, this number does not have a denominator, so I'm gonna put it over 1. Now they're all fractions. I need my least common multiple to get that common denominator. My biggest number is 9, so I'm gonna start doing multiples of 9. 9, 18, 27. Let's try these 3. If I need to go further, I can. 9, divisible by 1, not divisible by 6. 18, divisible by 1, and yes, divisible by 6. So 18 is going to be my common denominator. I get 9 to 18 by timesing it by 2. So I have to do the same thing to the top. I get 1 to 18 by timesing it by 18. So I'll do the same thing to the top, and I get 6 to 18 by timesing it by 3. So I'll do the same to the top. Now, 7 times 2 is 14. I could write 18 as my denominator, but I know I'm gonna get rid of it, so I'm not going to write it down. I'm just going to worry about my top numbers. This one is the one that had my variable. Please don't lose your variable. 2 times 18 is going to be 36. So plus 36 is equal to 5 times 3 is 15. Now we can do our 2 steps. Our variable is with our 14, so we'll worry about that last. Let's get rid of a positive 36, so let's minus 36. I have 14x still on this side. Now I have more negatives. How many more negatives do I have? If I find the difference between the positive and the negative numbers that I have, I can tell that I have 21 more negatives because my negative was bigger. So it's the difference of the 2 numbers, and then you take the sign that you had that was bigger. So I have a negative 21. 14x is equal to negative 21. Divide by 14 because it's currently timesing. Divide by 14. X is equal to a negative divided by a positive is a negative. 21 divided by 14. Now, it doesn't go in evenly, but I can reduce it because both of them have 7 in common. So as I reduce it, 21 divided by 7 is 3. 14 divided by 7 is 2. So my simplified fraction is going to be a negative 3/2. So we want to remember this in our next this next section because we're going to use it. If I have to distribute a number through, 4 is equal to 3/7 parentheses 3x plus 4. Okay, if I have to distribute a number through like this, actually we'll do 14, make it easy. We want to always times by the top and then you'll divide by the bottom. So 3 times 3 is 9 divided by 7. Now, 9 doesn't actually divide by 7 perfectly, and so we're going to keep it as this fraction. That had my variable there, so I'm going to keep my variable. So 3 times 3 is 9, divided by 7 is 9/7. 3 times 14 is 42, divide by 7. Now, in the last part of this video, we want to keep our denominator the same. So I can reduce it down to 6, or I can keep it as 42/7, because that's going to help me later because I'll have a common denominator anyway. A positive times a positive is a positive. Equals 4 over here. Now, I don't have a fraction here. I do have fractions over here. I want to be able to put that over 1 so that I can get my common denominator. Because when I times this, I kept my 7 denominators, now I only have to change one of them. I know my common denominator is going to be 7, so 4 times 7 is 28/7 is equal to 9x/7 plus 42/7. Now that I have a common denominator, I can get rid of it. And we'll only work with the top. Okay, 28 is equal to 9x plus 42. Or minus 42, minus 42. Now the difference of 42 and 28 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 4. 3 minus 2 is 1. So the difference is 14. So there are 14 numbers between 28 and 42. However, I have more negative numbers. So my answer is a negative 14 is equal to 9x. So now I still have to get rid of what's with my variable. I'll divide it by 9, divide it by 9. This will not reduce. If I wanted to check it, I could do a prime factorization tree and I could see if there was any common factors that went into both of them. I know that there's not because this is 3 times 3 and this is 2 times 7. So there isn't anything in common. That's how I know that a negative 14/9 is equal to x and it will not reduce. Hopefully that helps.